So the other couple of things I wanted to chat about were survival switching and deep survival switching. So let's have a chat about that. So they sound quite obvious, so when we're stuck in survival, obviously we're more likely to run on fight, flight, freeze. We're more likely to have rage, anger episodes. We're more likely to have the inability to look after ourselves, or we become overly dominating and overly high with our boundaries. So it can sort of, once again, it depends on our own history and the way that our own nervous system has developed as to what is normal for our survival patterns. So survival switching so this is when you'll see me, there's a spot on the belly, just below the belly button. So here it's CV8 and maybe it's CV10 just above it. So basically CV10 is considered survival switching. So if that unlocks, it means that sometime in our past there's been a one-off incident that has created trauma in our nervous system. So that might be a beating or a rape or a car accident or a humiliation at school or something that's created a one-off event. So it's not the same event over and over again, but it's a one-off thing. So something that's brought, shame or guilt or rage or anger. It can be anything that our nervous system can't cope with. So that's survival switching, a one-off event. Deep survival switching is when it's been a trauma that's over and over and over and over again. Now, these can be this lifetime, or it can be released in the womb to us, or it can be genetic. So occasionally you'll see me checking whether or not it's on the mother's side or the father's side, and then is it the mother's mother's or the mother's father, or the mother's mother's mother or the mother's mother's father. So I sort of just track that until it stops. So sometimes it'll be anywhere up to 7 generations, but I generally find it's about 3 generations back. Sometimes 4, but generally 3 is the most. So I don't find 7 generations. I'm sure that's true for some people, but it's just not what I find when I'm going back in these little parts of the brain that actually have up to 7 generations of trauma stored in them. So deep survival is when it's trauma that is repeated over and over again. So that could be childhood abuse, that could be a teacher who's abusive for a year, that could be a parent who never shows that they love us, that could be a partner who constantly berates us or makes us feel worthless or useless or dumb, so it can be anything like that. So it's the same trauma over and over again, and for whatever reason we haven't learnt the lesson yet to be able to get out of that situation. Hidden deep survival, so that's survival and deep survival, and hidden deep survival is when our brain has gone, this is too much. That deep survival is just too much for me, I need to hide it. But it keeps the survival pattern running in the background anyway. Now what that does, when the survival patterns are running, whether it's survival switching, deep survival switching, or hidden deep survival switching, when they are running in the background, they switch off the conscious part of the brain. So you'll see me tapping on the forehead sometimes. And what I'm saying to myself, because believe it or not, what I say to myself during sessions is fairly important for the kinesiology, or at least that's my belief. So since it's my belief, that's what is, because that's the way kinesiology works. So when I'm doing that, that's my way of saying, okay, HPA, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal combo, or sometimes I'll more specifically go into, say, the pineal melatonin serotonin immune system, courage, so that's all the coating, that we need to release, which is why we need to, purify our water and get our fluoride out, because if you Google fluoride and IQ, you'll see that it lowers our IQ. So, basically we need to do things. Kinesiology doesn't eliminate the physical side effects of this emotional gear. Then we've got to do that work. So some people say, oh, if I just get balanced, I'm going to lose weight. No. You still have to do the work to lose the weight, or you still have to do the work to get your heart back under control. Yes, the trauma may be causing high blood pressure or all sorts of things, but then we've got to do the work to fix those organs, to fix those systems that have come under fire. I've mentioned it before, there's a great video called Hijacked by a Cupcake by Dr. Pamela Peake, and she talks about how trauma in our childhood can change our genes so that we are pro-inflammatory. It switches off our anti-inflammatory genes, and pro-weight gain. It switches off our ability to maintain our weight. And it's also pro-cancer. It switches off our tumour suppressing gene. And I actually saw an article a few days ago that the new can switch off tumour suppressing genes as well. So that's a real worry for anyone who's got the big in the family. So just something to keep an eye out. Anyway, so survival switching, deep survival switching, and hidden deep survival switching. When they're running, they can switch off many systems of the body, and then I think it comes down to our genes and our lifestyle as to what it switches off. So for many people, it can switch on our inflammatory hormones, switch off our thyroids, slow down digestion, slow down immune system. So the end result of running on survival for many years is that our poor little bods can be just a total mess, which is, it takes a lot of time to unravel a lot of that. And it gets frustrating. Healing sucks. Healing sucks. It's just tough sometimes to actually get to that point where people go, oh, thank God I'm here. And I think the more we do at home, but I heard a bit snake and spider reverse. I thought I heard something in the bushes here. But anyway, so that's survival switching, deep survival, and hidden deep survival. Obviously, I'm in a chatty mood this afternoon. I went for a big bike ride today, so, it's been a good day. Have a good one. Bye.